welcome to the Third and Long podcast. It's a bit of an old school episode here with the two original hosts. So, as always, I am here with Mr. Ollie Butler Henderson. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Hope. I am rather good, thank you very much. How is everyone in the world of Facebook and YouTube and the world of podcasting? How is everyone out there? As I'm just going to press that button and do that button. Right. Cool.
You
Hey,
with
got to
us?
get it out there. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
It's been an interesting week. Some surprising results.
As it says by the title of our show, beaten by backups. Yeah, that's it's been a good weekend of football. I mean, you could tell that the scoring is down by 20% this season from compared to what it was last season. It started showing some of the scorings, but there was quite a few shutouts last season. But there was a lot of teams that aren't scoring any touchdowns. I mean, I've got in front of my screen, there's two in front of me, and I can see straight away out of like 5 games, 6 games.
Yeah, well, let's not go there because I had a bet on Jones, somebody in, I think it was Jones, Chubb, and Leonard Fournette to score a touchdown.
As long as it wasn't Mike Evans like scoring from 75 yards.
And I was there like, come on, Fournette, please score a touchdown. Please score a touchdown, Fournette. And then I don't think the Bucks even go into the red zone, did they?
Yeah, they did. They had one. They had one attempt because that's why they went for the field goal.
Yeah, Shane's just come in saying, have a good show, boys. I'll be back on Thursday to crow about my Ravens. To be
Oh
honest,
dear.
I'm just happy the Ravens beat the Browns because it meant the Browns lose, and we know this podcast hates the Browns.
And it was a good day. I hope Shane had a good birthday yesterday. I did see
Yes.
that. I think he was a bit hungover this morning. Shall we start on a Thursday night game? Because for once, it was a good game.
Yeah, for once, we actually had a game that scored more than about 2 points.
Oh, it was. I've got to share this one video. I mean, it's been floating around social media, but it has to be shared. And I just love this. This sums up New Orleans Saints at the moment, I think, more than anything else. It just sums it up, wasn't it? I mean, I can't remember who that was off the top of my head. It was who was it at the end of the day? It was Isaiah Simmons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
No, Shane's just coming saying he did have a good birthday. Cheers.
Good man. I mean, Kyler Murray obviously got stuck in his playbook this week and wasn't playing Call of Duty, which is always a bonus.
Well, he probably. Speaking of Call of Duty, I'll get to this later, but I have something about the Chiefs in Call of Duty later.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
But you're gonna have to remind me because I'll forget.
I'll try. Andy Dalton threw 3 picks. Obviously, we saw one of them there with Isaiah Simmons diving through the for the end zone as Dalton was running back.
Yeah, but that one wasn't actually Dalton's fault.
It still unfortunately goes down as a pick though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Callaway or one of the wide receivers knocked it up in the air.
Callaway's being really poor at the moment. I mean, he had 6 targets, only pulling in the board twice for 20 yards. His stats this season aren't brilliant either. He's only had 11 receptions for 118 yards. I'm starting to think that apart from Olav, he's having a good season despite missing a game. He's had 495 yards and 2 touchdowns this year for a rookie. He is leading that offense behind Taysom Hill.
They should be Michael Thomas should be leading that offense, but he's been out with a poorly foot or whatever.
Oh, he's had so many things wrong with it. I mean, it's put it on this young lad's shoulder. He had 106 yards through the air. It's not good enough. I mean, he had plenty of different targets. He had 14 targets, and he caught the ball 7 times, mind you. Alvin Kamara had 9 targets for 7 catches.
I feel like we should actually probably talk about the team that won, the Cardinals. D-Hop over 100 yards on his first game back.
Yeah, he had that was 100 yards, 10 receptions for 14 targets, 18-yard longs. He doesn't look like he's missed a beat one little bit. He's obviously been out there practicing and having a run around and keeping himself fit.
He was
He
even there
obviously
to
knew the playbook from last year as well, didn't he?
break up a fight between Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray.
Anyone know what that was about yet?
No,
No, it's strange. I mean, it shows that Kingsbury is a bit stressed, I think.
yeah,
One of yours. I think he's starting to feel that the seat warming up under him. I think a bit under that one.
yeah. Well, as I'll get on to later, I think he's not the only NFC West coach.
Oh yes. Yeah, I think Kyler Murray's had enough of the blame being passed on him as well, and just gone, look, this isn't good enough. Yeah, I mean, he did come his play calling is a bit shit.
Mm.
Let's roll on to the Sunday night games. We are going on to, I can't remember which one is it. The Atlanta, the first one, wasn't it?
Broncos Bengals,
Yeah,
where
the Lang.
Joe
Yeah,
Burrows had a game.
yes. You had all these people that start the season, pre-season, they're hyping the Bengals up, and then they started going against the Bengals. The Bengals are not as good. Blah 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 blah. I mean, it's a new offensive line. They had to get that gelness in together, get the understanding, and it is clicked. Admittedly, against an average Atlanta Falcons team, but yeah, they were on fire. I mean, Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd was over 280 yards between the two of them. T. Higgins hit another 90 yards as well. It's
Joe Burrows over 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think through the first half, he had a perfect passer rating.
yeah, I mean, it's still 138.2.
Yeah, I know.
You can't get any better than that. I mean,
But
it
he
was
can.
ridiculous. Yeah, you can, but it's very unlikely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carl Pitts had a quiet game. He only had 3 receptions for 9 yards. Drake London only had 1 reception for 9 yards. The expatriate was.
Mariota looked like he did every other week apart from the week where he played the Niners.
He only had 8 completions from 13 for 124 yards.
Yeah, why couldn't you have done that last week?
It's nice to see the expatriate. Damian Baird scored a touchdown, 75 yards. Absolutely burnt Eli Apple, which was a bit surprising. I'm not a fan of it. I think Eli Apple's a bit of a ball hawk himself. If it's actually popping up on the screen now. Eli Apple gets beaten a lot in coverage.
He's a bit like Trayvon Diggs, just not as good.
Yeah. Well, Trayvon Diggs had a couple of good games the last couple of weeks. I mean, there's still some things to get sorted out in that Cincinnati Bengals team, but they are, was it now 4 in 5 games they've won now? They're starting to look a much better team than they did week 2 and week 4, week 5, whatever week they lost the other week. Personally, I think. Is it Shane's team next? I can't remember which.
No, it's Lions Cowboys next.
Lions Cowboys next.
We don't need to say much about this game. Cowboys played well. Lions were poor. Dalton Schultz had a good game.
Dalton Schultz had a good game. You know, Dak Prescott threw for over 200 yards. He looked a lot of rust in his arms. Yeah. He looked like he's not played a lot. I don't think Jared Goff did too much wrong. He got picked off twice. One of them was a bit of a bad throw, admittedly, but I don't think he did that wrong. I mean, Jamal Williams fumbled on the goal line.
Yeah. Shout out to Hutchinson, 2 sacks.
2 sacks again for Hutch. He had another good game as well. I mean, Lions have reminded me a lot like Minnesota last season. Are nearly there. They've got a list of lots of nearly games that they're losing. I mean, they could have gone in. If Jamal Williams had taken that one in, it would have been, 13. If they had 13-4, 24, it would have looked like a lot closer game than it actually was. 24-6, you're looking at it going, that was a bit of a blowout. But Lions were 6-3 up at halftime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, I think that just backs up the fact that Dak had some rust in his arms, because in the second half, when he'd thrown a few, he looked better.
Yeah, it opened up the playbook a bit more, didn't they? And they got the run game going. I mean, Zeke and Pollard got the game going again. They looked a lot better. and they went to that line again. Oh, fireworks going off outside by the sounds of it. Starting to look a bit better. Don't think Giants are going to have that division all to themselves anymore.
Happy Diwali to anybody that celebrates it, who's watching as we talk about fireworks.
It is, isn't it? We've now seen Matt Ryan's last game for an Indianapolis Colt, for at least for a few weeks anyway.
Probably Matt Ryan's last game in the NFL.
I wouldn't be surprised. 2 picks. I
I mean, he
didn't
was my
realise
player of the week last week.
You've gone and put his cursed on him.
I
Who are you
think
gonna who
he's
you gonna
showing
vote, who
that
you gonna vote for next year or next week?
Joe Burrow. We've already decided this.
Oh, that's it. Joe Burrow's done for the season.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's been poor all season apart from this one game. And
Yeah,
again, he was poor.
Tannehill wasn't much better either, to be fair.
No, it was a really poor game, to be honest. The NFC South AFC South is turning into the new NFC East.
Yeah, the NFC East are looking really good.
Yeah.
NFC East have got 3 teams that are in the playoffs as it
You
stands.
know the NFC East against out of division opponents this year is 16-3.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That was awesome.
And I mean, the Commanders have only won 2 games.
Derek Henry put Jonathan Taylor back in his place again.
Yeah.
He doubled his amount of yardage, tripled his amount of carries. As
Hines
long as
actually looked
23
like a better running back than Taylor yesterday. I
Well,
thought
he
anyway.
only had 2 yards on the ground. He had
Yeah, but he looked like
45 yards, 41 yards through the air.
He looked like a good receiving back.
Perez Campbell got the touchdown, obviously, as well, and that was actually quite a good touchdown. I think Jonathan Taylor he's obviously coming back from injury. He's not right there yet. It's another one of those players that come back a bit too early.
Yeah.
As John said, the return of Henry, Henry looked really good again. He looked strong.
Henry's going to rip the crown off Jonathan Taylor's head and puts it back on his own.
Yeah, I'll have this one back now. Thank you very much. Yeah, very, very much so. AFC won the game against a standout MVP, XFL. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tyler Heineke.
Yeah,
Taylor Heineke, whatever.
This is the one that cost my bet.
Tony McCorn, brilliant catch as well for the reception, for the touchdown as well. Green Bay they're just a real poor team at the moment. They're not protecting Rodgers. Rodgers has been really poor.
For me, their crown jewels are their running backs.
Yeah.
And their running backs had a combined 12 carries yesterday.
For less than 50 yards. 38 yards completely. I mean, Aaron Jones had 53 through the air, including a really good touchdown, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was a really good touchdown. Dave says evening. Evening, Dave.
Evening, Dave.
Lazard, I believe Lazard's picked up a bit of an injury as well. I don't know any more of that one, but he only had 7 targets.
I mean, you say only.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
as you said, maybe Green Bay is still jet lagged from London, not been the same since the Giants game.
It's a possibly. I mean, it's a bit of a long jet lag. I mean, Washington, they were 14-10 up at halftime, Green Bay, and they didn't score any points in the third quarter. Washington changed their game plan.
I mean,
they got Tyler Heineke to space. They got McLaurin. They got Samuels. They got Amani Rodgers. Antonio Gibson getting
Rodgers really struggled to move the ball. You have to remember that 7 of the points were from a pick 6.
Yeah, very, very true. It was
the Packers' offense only scored 14 points.
Yeah,
but I have to admit, I was getting a bit excited with that lateral play at the end.
Oh God, there's a few people don't like that.
Jack, do you think they need to bring in Jordan Love then if Green Bay needs to drop Rodgers?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually. Oh, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not
join up,
sure.
see what the kid has.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well now. You've got, and
Jack says
he goes,
definitely.
definitely. I tell you, you'll do the comments and I'll do the banners. How's that one? um, Tyler Heineke, he should, when he got rid of that rust, he looked like the quarterback that we like. I mean, we were high on him last year. You were higher
Yeah,
on him before I
I
was.
I know you jumped on the bandwagon.
I watched a few of his games. I thought, yeah, this lad's got something. I mean, Brian Robson is now starting to look like. I mean, you had a
Yes,
trade offered for you in one of your drafts, and you gave me a thing, and I said, Brian Robson is going to be a star of this league.
yeah, but I mean, Derek Henry's the star of this league at the moment.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I said give up the first if they give you the first. Um, he had 86 yards on the scrimmage completely, 20 yards, 20 carries, and a 24-yard long. He is going to be a very good running back, and he doesn't show any ill effects from being that horrible incident that happened to him as well.
Yes. Now I think we're on to the Bucks.
We are onto the Bucks Panthers, and I'm just trying to find the actual thing come up on my phone.
What's happened to Tom Brady?
I generally don't know. I'm starting to think that I don't know because he was the first couple of games was really good.
Yeah,
They looked okay. They looked good, and then these last 4 or 5 games, ever since his personal life come out, he's taken the Wednesdays off. He's getting hit a hell of a lot more.
he's
You
going
know, he
to
got hit.
Hovercraft's wedding.
Yeah, he got hit 14 times yesterday.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, Tom Brady never gets hit that much. You know, Tampa always the 3 seasons that he's been in Tampa, he's always been protected.
Johnny's right. He has lost his reliable tight end in Gronk.
But he's got Mike Evans, he's got Chris Godwin,
Yeah.
he's got Russell Gage, he's
David
got
saying
Leonard Fournette, he's got
David
Scotty Miller.
David saying he's lost weight.
Yeah, I think he has actually. I think it's you can tell in the face.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but that drop from Mike Evans was
yeah,
I've
that
never
was
seen Mike
awful.
Evans drop anything like that. Tampa look
He caught it
awful.
and then threw it.
I don't know what he did. I generally don't know what he did. It kind of like
When it first started, I thought that is that not a catch and a fumble?
I thought, yeah, and then he just kind of threw it forward, didn't he? It's
Because
like
he almost threw it into his chest and then like I don't know.
flung it forward at you, yeah.
Yeah,
um, yeah. I mean, the play calling looks very simple in Green Bay in
David
Tampa.
says, what about the ref stuff too?
Oh, what the Mike Evans?
I don't know about this.
So it's come out that a couple of the officials or a couple of guys dressed in the officials has gone up to Mike Evans after the game and asked him for autographs. Or was it? Oh, I can't. During
Oh
the game
yeah,
at some point, you can see
he
he's
says
in
he
full
needs
uniform.
autograph.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't
didn't know
know.
about that.
And it's interesting. I heard a stat today that PJ, all of Carolina Panthers, double-digit wins has come under as Paul Walker at the helm, under
PJ
center.
Walker.
PJ Paul Walker. He might be Paul Junior Walker. You never know. PJ Walker under the center.
Apparently, the NFL are investigating it,
Yeah,
as
they
they
are.
should.
Yeah, they should. You know, you can't go out to a player. Oh, can we have your autograph? Any time in the game, doesn't matter. It's after the game, before the game, because it looks a bit dodgy. That one, very dodgy.
But yeah, the Panthers didn't look like a team they've given up, did they?
Hell no. It's almost like Christian McCarthy. Who?
Yeah,
um, it shouldn't even been done full stop, Dave.
no.
I don't think it
And
should.
as John's just said, Panthers clearly didn't need McCaffrey.
I mean, they only had 4 rushing, four players rushing, Foreman, Hubbard, DJ Moore, and Blackshear. Although he was -5 yards, there wasn't a lot of targets. It was only like half a dozen targets compared to the 10 that was on Tampa.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of targets didn't help Tampa. They scored 3 points all game.
And Brady didn't turn the ball over. He threw the ball 49 times for 290 yards. Brady
You know
doesn't
the
look the same.
The Buccaneers were 2-5 to win.
Yeah, they were. I had them in my accumulator as well.
I didn't have them in my accumulator. I thought the odds were too short.
I think that there's a very difference between Brady and Rodgers. Green
Yeah,
Bay just look a mess at the moment. Tampa, Tom Brady looks old, looks frail, looks a shell of what he did 18 months ago, or even when he won the Super Bowl. He doesn't look the same anymore, and it's the same with Big Ben. It's the same with Drew
Drew
Brees. It's the same
Brees,
with
Brett
Rivers.
Favre.
Very much Brett Favre. Peyton Manning was carried by a very, very good defense to the Super Bowl. That's what
Joe
won them the
Montana
Super
wasn't
Bowl.
that good at the Chiefs.
Exactly. It's these players that want to carry on playing
I know,
because
I
they've.
know, I know. We think like Brady doesn't age, but Father Time catches up with everyone in the end.
And we said this. He's going to hit this cliff, and he is going to fall off this cliff, and it is going to be a big fall, a
Well, he's
very,
falling at
very
the
big
moment,
fall.
I think.
Yeah.
Who's the backup? Who's the backup at Tampa Bay?
It is
Is
a.
it Kyle Trask?
I think it might be if I just bring up the depth chart. No, it's Blaine. Blaine Gabbert.
Then Gabbert.
Trask is number 3. There, yeah.
Dave agrees
It's
with
a
me.
shame.
Trask.
Well, I'm going to ESPN, and they are saying it
Yeah.
is Blaine Gabbert.
I feel like they play Trask over Gabbert. Give the kid some. And then
I
Dave
think they
says,
would.
"Oh yeah."
Onto the New York
Could
team
be
who
Blaine. Sorry.
onto New
They
York.
just but got to praise the Panthers too. Yeah, the Panthers did look good. Their
Yeah,
defense, right? I mean, there's a reason they didn't trade Brian Burns for those 2 first-round picks. He had a good game.
he had a very good game.
The Panthers' defense had a good game.
I mean, stopping Tom Brady on his 290. Didn't give up any touchdowns. Only scored a field goal. They stopped them in the red zone a couple of times as well. Yeah, that's like up yours, Matt Rule. Up yours, McCaffrey.
Up
This
yours,
is it.
Robbie Anderson.
Up yours, up yours. Anyone else who wants us. It was almost like the players going, right, let's put ourselves on the market. Because we're not going to be around there next season. Carolina
I'm
have
just
gone.
wondering,
We are open to it.
do you think maybe there was a bit of complacency in Tampa Bay too? Maybe you think they just had
Possibly,
to turn up and win.
but I don't think Tom Brady would have gone like that. We just all we got to do is rock up, we win. I don't think that's in Tom Brady's makeup.
Okay.
I don't think. I don't know about Todd Bowles. I don't think that's in Tom Brady's makeup though, personally. But I don't know.
Said like a few Tom Brady super fan.
I'm not a Tom Brady super fan anymore. If you're a New York Giants, would you be giving Danny Jones a contract now?
Yes.
Scrambled for 107 yards, scored a touchdown, 3 for 202 yards. New York Giants are a completely different team from what they were last year.
Brian Dable has changed the game for them. And David just said, wow, I'm assuming he's talking about Danny Dimes' stats.
Yep. Scott Hansen did take the mick out of him about him falling over, but the guy did put his arm into it. He tripped over. Oh, Scott Hansen had me in tears last night. He was brilliant. Yeah, I mean, Danny Jones he's not turning the ball over as much anymore. He's scrambling really well, and he's extending plays really well.
And I think having Saquon there is a big help for him too.
Oh, all day long. All day long. If you think about it, they've got a lot of players out injured at the moment, New York Giants. They're very, very good wide receivers. They've got no Kadarius. They've got no Sterling Shepard. They've got no Kenny Galladay. They've got no Evan Neal anymore, and he's now out.
Yeah. John said New York have both changed since last year. They both have.
They're really good teams.
I think both a big part of that is their quarterback stepping up.
Both definitely. I mean, New York were
and both
finding
drafted well.
Jets were finding ways to win.
Yes.
under Flacco. Zach Wilson, he looked a bit yesterday, but they found a way. But Danny Jones is playing really well. I mean, Jacksonville are playing well as well.
Yes.
The Jacksonville aren't a team that shit at 2-5. I mean,
I'm excited to watch Jacksonville next week.
I think they're going to be really good. Trevor Lawrence looks a lot better. They go for a lot of plays on fourth down.
Yes.
Fourth
They're an
down play.
exciting team to watch.
Travis Etienne. I mean, we were saying pre-show, Travis Etienne is probably an outside bet for comeback of the year. Considering technically it's his first, it is his second season, but he missed all his rookie season through injury. They are looking really, really good, and their defense is looking fairly strong as well.
Dave says Pats versus Jets is going to be decent next week.
I'm not looking forward to playing divisional matchups this year.
I think that's a prediction game, isn't it, Ollie?
It will be a prediction game, yeah. New York, like I said earlier on, the NFC East have 3 teams in the playoff contention, in playoffs at the moment, as it is. He would have said that when we started this show, 2 years ago nearly. It is crazy. 2 years ago, NFC East were the laughing stock of the NFL.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I remember for Halloween, Colleen Wolfe dressed up as like a trash can on fire, and on the trash can it said NFC East.
Yeah, and now look at them. You've got 6-0. You've got 6-0 Eagles, 5-1. No, 6-1 Giants. You've got 5-2 Dallas Cowboys, and then you got the 2-5 Washington
Commanders.
But it is becoming a really strong division. Okay, I think their schedule has helped a little bit because they've had the easier schedules, but they are looking really good teams.
That's because they're all playing each other.
Yeah,
and now playing each other is a hard game now.
It is.
Like me and you were going through the 90 schedule after before the show, and I think we've got a fairly easy schedule for the rest of the season, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you had a slightly rose-tinted glass on them one time.
Or slightly rose-tinted glass is that every game's winnable.
Yes. Shall we go on to the Jets? Move on to the Jets win over Denver.
Jets.
This was a bit of a crap game.
Yeah.
But Redmond didn't look too bad for his first game.
Yeah, I just hope we have Russell Wilson back next week just so I can boo him.
Yeah, I mean, he will be good. I mean, it's a shame. It looks like Brett Hall is now out for the season with an ACL and a malicious problem. Can't say meniscus problem. I mean, but that touchdown of his.
But yeah, Breece Hall will be a big miss. I mean, I know they have Michael Carter, who's a good running back, but Breece Hall was probably that front runner
X factor, wasn't he?
For Rookie of the Year. Or at least Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, he's really, really good.
That 6 p.m. game that we need to go back to.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore. But let's finish this game. Let's finish this game first.
I completely because I'm going across the screen and it's gone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Bryce Hall's going to be a big miss. I mean, ACL as season done. 62-yard touchdown run. Really, really quick. I mean, you think he's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year? I mean, 463 yards.
But I think or would have been
463 yards rushing this season and 4 touchdowns. He's a good player. I mean, Jets drafted really, really well this year.
You just need to hope he comes back as good a player.
I mean, their draft class this year was really good. Obviously, Sauce, who's standout rookie, absolute standout corner. Garrett Wilson, a really good wideout, having a solid season. Jermaine Johnson, probably one of the best defensive ends in the rookie class.
Oh, you love Jermaine Johnson now.
I do, and there's a certain person sat upstairs that absolutely loves him as well. And then Breece Hall was probably one of the best running backs coming in this class. In their first 4 picks. In the first 36 picks, they've had probably 4 of the best players in each position.
Yeah.
It is scary. Shane's not here, but shall we talk about him now?
Like I said, I'm just happy the Browns lost.
Baltimore always threw it away again.
Yeah, they tried, didn't they?
They seem to have a problem. I would love to know what Shane's reasoning is why they can't seem to hold on to leads, because they were steamrolling them. They were what 20? They were 20 points up. No, they weren't. They were nearly 20. They were 15 points, 16 points up, something like that. 2 scores up anyway. And they threw it away.
I am gonna bang that drum again though. 16 attempts, 91 yards, touchdown. Nick Chubb MVP.
Yes, he has to be. I mean, he is leading the rushings. He's leading touchdowns. His carries is the third attempt to carries 126 yards over this season. He has to be MVP. I don't think any really quarterbacks are playing well enough yet to go, he's in that conversation.
I know I've been saying he should be in the conversation. I'm scrapping that. He should be MVP if he carries on at this level.
Most definitely.
He's I don't like the Browns, but Nick Chubb is having a hell of a year.
He's having a great season, a really, really good season. We've always taken the mick out of Lamar Jackson. He's a running back playing quarterback. He's 5th in rushing yards this year. He's 5th in the rushing stats.
That just backs up our point, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's his rushing is I think it's like 500 yards.
Look, John, as much as I don't like the Browns, you can't deny that Nick Chubb is playing very, very well.
Nick Chubb is playing incredibly well, and we will bang that drum because he is because he is playing really, really well. And MVP shouldn't just be for the best quarterback in the league, because it is. It should be for the best player in the league. It doesn't matter if it's quarterback, defensive end, corner, running back, left tackle, center. It should be any of the 53 players on that squad. Even bloody
not 2 or 3.
Not 2 or 3, exactly. And it always is. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see much of this game. I only saw it on Red Zone. I don't know how much Shane was going to know of this because I think he was in the pub, so he was probably a bit drunk.
David's saying Hurts.
Hurts has got to be in the conversation.
John's saying Chubb has always played well. Yeah, John, I think Chubb has always played well, but I feel like he's playing even better than he usually does this year.
He has stepped up this season. I mean, I'm paying a little bit more attention to Nick Chubb because he's on Noah's fantasy team, so I'm obviously make sure Noah doesn't make any crazy mistakes. Like he did in his Premier League Fantasy Year 1 league where he transferred his whole team, forgot to press the wild card transfer. Whoops.
You're clearly not reviewing his trades.
I wasn't in the same house as him then. He was with his mums at the time.
And then John says if he was at Dallas or New England, it would be talked about like Henry's at the Titans. Yes, Nick Chubb should get more love because he is a very, very good running back.
He is probably the top 3 in the league.
Yeah, with Todd Taylor and
Henry. Exactly. We've done one 905 game. The other 905 game, another brilliant running back. Another one.
Jacobs.
Given that contract now.
Yeah.
I don't get why they didn't his 50-year option.
Yeah, John, was there a reason that Jacobs didn't get his 50-year option? Because I thought because he's a good running back.
He's a really good running back. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns for 143 yards on the ground yesterday. He had a couple of receptions as well for only 12 yards.
Have you seen that weird thing Davante Adams did at the end of the game?
No, explain.
He ran like this and got everyone out of the way, then ran down the tunnel sideways.
I think Davante Adams is having slight issues with tunnels and people in the way. That may be the reason why it doesn't get told off anymore. Derek Carr's having a good season as well. A quietly good season.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Carr deserves more love than he's getting.
Yeah, he's having a really good season. I mean, he's been picked off 4 times. He's thrown for just over 1,500 yards. He's had 9 touchdowns. He is having a quietly solid season, and I think finally Josh McDaniels is getting the Raiders to play how he wants them to play. They're starting to come into the way of thinking. He is starting to play really, really well.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're starting to not just have their game plan of give the ball to Adams.
Exactly. Breaking news has just come in. Chargers Mike Williams will miss time following his eye ankle sprain. That seems to be
Ooh,
talk of the injury of the season at the moment, isn't it? Eye ankle sprains.
um, John says Adams was clearing the way not to bump into the photographer.
um, yeah, I mean, so there was only 6 targets yesterday. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfro, Mac Hollins, who I think is brilliant because he walks around New York with no shoes on. Foster Moreau, Josh Jacobs, and Amari Abdullah.
Did Darren Waller not get targeted on National Tight End Day?
He was injured, isn't he? He didn't play.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's out injured. He missed the game.
Okay.
He's not an IR or anything like that. He's just out injured. But yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs got most of the carries. He had 20 carries. So most of the ball is going for Josh Jacobs now. Let's run the ball.
I mean, ground and pound football, isn't it?
Yeah,
Old school.
smash football. I
It's an
mean,
old school. I found it's an old school podcast with just the OGs on it. Old
oh
school
yes,
football.
old
Ground and
school
pound.
football.
Smash mouth.
Um,
Mike Shanahan.
we've just broken the news about Mike Williams. Shall we move on to LA Chargers, who are looking?
Geno Smith. Put him in the MVP conversation.
He's having he can't dress it. Kelly said earlier on his suit was wearing him in his press conference.
I've not seen it.
But Kenneth Walker, I was high on him pre-season. The Michigan State prospect is balling out now. He was 168 yards, 2 touchdowns yesterday, including a 74-yard touchdown. He's quick, and he's quicker than I actually thought he was. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Marquise Goodwin had a couple of touchdowns as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
X49er just putting out.
Did you see right at the very end of the game? They were in fixture formation, and he was stood a good 10 yards back, and he did a backflip. Just decided to bounce down and did a backflip. It was like
he said that before.
It's mad, but he had a really good game as well. 2 touchdowns from 4 targets, 5 targets.
DK Metcalf injured, but I know it's not as bad as they first thought.
It's not as bad as JC Jackson.
He will miss time, but I don't think he's out for the season. I did read what the injury was, but I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I'm actually seeing.
It's something knee related though.
It is knee related. JC Jackson's dislocated his knee. It looks like it's actually just popped up on the screen now. It looks nasty. It looks like he went to jump, take off, and it looks like his foot got caught in the AstroTurf, and it didn't release. I mean, I've dislocated my knee.
Get rid of turf. Get rid of turf. Get rid of turf.
All day long. I mean, I've dislocated my knee. It is a nasty, nasty injury. I mean, I got really lucky when I dislocated my knee. I didn't do any ligament damage. If he hasn't got any ligament damage, he may be back. Not as quick as Patrick Mahomes when he dislocated his knee a couple of years ago. But he may be back this season, possibly. Depends if there's any ligament damage or any other damage in there.
I mean, I don't like to wish it on other people, but I'm not too sad that he's not going to be around week 10 with Jimmy throwing the ball.
Although saying that, he's not having as good a season as he did when he was in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Should we move on to the guy that would make me want to just bang my head against a wall?
I just want to say, Justin Herbert, something not right with Justin Herbert this season either.
Yeah,
he looks a bit. I noticed yesterday they said it on the show, so I obviously go, oh yeah, for a guy who's 6'6", his release is very low.
Yeah,
and it's down here, not up here. You're 6'6". Use your whole arm height to get that ball over it. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Go on then. Let's hear Ollie cry for a few minutes.
That that
Thankfully,
that's
there's not
like
two of you.
that second quarter, that second quarter Inception. I just,
Oh, the one that was on the goal
I
line.
why are you throwing like a Hail Mary from like 4 yards out?
What was it? Was it like I'm just gonna?
I I
Cause
don't.
I've only saw it. I didn't see
I
it
think
properly.
he was
So
trying to get it over the guy's head to kiss over the back of the end zone.
and didn't
But
release properly.
we should have been running the ball because there was like less than 2 minutes to go, so we don't need to give the Chiefs any time on the ball.
Yeah, what was
Two,
it? Say 90 seconds left or something like that. He did. It
yeah,
gave him, wasn't
it
it?
was like 4 yards, and we have Jeff Wilson and Christian McCaffrey and Christian McCaffrey. Let me say that again. And Christian McCaffrey. Also, just take the sack and take the 3 points. We were like 4 yards out. Even if you just take the sack, we still have a chip shot field goal. Yes, I'm going to get on to Shanahan out in a minute, John. Let me just get my Garoppolo bit out of the way. But let's also remember who calls the offensive plays? Kyle Shanahan. So it was a really bad call and really bad execution. So let's get rid of Shanahan because otherwise we're going to lose D'Amico Ryans. Let's make D'Amico Ryans our head coach. Let's have Anthony Lynn at OC and let's get in Vic Fangio at DC. Jed York, are you and John Lynch, are you watching?
You'll be blaming the refs next. Go on
No,
to
I'm
John.
not blaming the refs. I'm blaming Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo.
um,
But then again, our number one defense put no pressure on Mahomes, only got one sack, and I know we lost 44-23
you had
or
6
whatever,
pressures
gave
or
up
6 knockdowns. Sorry.
42 points, and Jimmy Garoppolo panting about in the end zone again, gave up a safety.
Yeah, I did laugh at that.
Yeah,
I won't lie.
I mean, what sort of number one defense or any defense gives up 42 points at home?
A defense that's playing against a very good and on fire Kansas City Chief. I
Yes,
mean,
but still,
Mecole
42 points
Hardman.
at home.
Mecole
42
Hardman had a
points at
great
home.
game. Mecole
We're
Hardman had a
supposed to
great
be,
game. 3 touchdowns. Juju Smith-Schuster, 124 yards from 7 carries. MVS, 3 receptions, 111 yards. Your problem was there is you're giving these wide receivers. Okay, yes, there was 2 rushing touchdowns, but your wide receivers, your DBs, from what I saw, your DBs were a long way back. They were deep in their zones. They
yes,
weren't at the front of the zone. So you were giving the like of Juju, MVS, um,
Kelsey.
Kelsey, Jarrett McCon these yards to be able to go forward and make big yards. So you need that's why it's on your DB coach, your defensive coordinator, to get your defensive backs to sit higher up in their zones because they are very, very deep in their zones. It's almost like they're scared of the Mahomes long ball.
Yeah.
And that was the
Well,
issue.
yeah. I know you say zones, 'cause I know what you're saying, but it was a lot of man-to-man coverage last night.
They said your defense are not fit though.
Yeah, but we weren't missing that many yesterday.
And didn't you have a go about a certain Nick Bosa?
Oh, 2 plays in a row,
And
lining up
one
in the neutral zone.
one of them was you had them they
One
had
of
them on
them,
3rd and long, didn't they?
yeah, we had them on 3rd and long. We stopped them. There was a penalty on them, and then the next play he lines up in the neutral zone again.
You can't blame Shanahan for that. You can't
No,
blame your DC for that. You can't blame
it's
anyone
just
else but Nick Bosa for
mental
that.
errors by Nick Bosa, who doesn't usually make those mental errors. I
You
mean, I
know,
don't want to spend too long on this, and I'd like to move on because I don't want to talk about the Niners all day. But I was not very happy last night.
well, I mean, me and Kelly were in a lodge, so we both had our phones on airplane mode at times because every time we had a message come through, it messed up the Game Pass on the Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi wasn't that strong.
Yeah,
So we put our phones on airplane mode.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was talking to myself at one point in the chat. Well, let's
Probably,
let's look,
yeah.
let's look what I was saying when I was talking to myself. Let's get off of this because
Um, was there a
uh,
reason that
here
Brock
it
Purdy
is.
came in, or was
Because
it just
Jimmy's
because let's just give him a game? We're
me
finished now.
FFS FFS again. I'm inching towards us trying to out train. We seriously have no discipline. It's the hope that kills you. Number one defense gives up 35 points at home. Purdy in now, please. Just talking to myself.
We all do that, mate, on group chats. It's like no one, you're just typing away and no one's listening. It's quite funny. Um, Tua's back, and they
Honestly,
almost lost it.
I know nothing about this game.
So I've seen bits of this game. I've seen the highlights. Kenny Pickett, 3 interceptions. One of them was going right in the end corner, and it was I was contemplating it as my catch of the week because the DB, and I can't remember his name. It was
Well, you were too
brilliant,
busy in a
brilliant.
spa or jacuzzi.
Hot tub, Dave. Hot tub.
Hot tub is a jacuzzi, isn't it?
Same difference. It was a hot tub anyway. Yeah, that was really nice. Um, Kenny Pickett's in a no-win situation here,
Yeah,
or no lose. They're gonna be in the top 10 draft pick. I think they're 8th at the moment as it is.
yeah. I'm just wondering
Um,
If Muzz is watching, and if he remembers our bets about the uh, the Steelers making the playoffs.
George Pickens, another great catch in that end zone. Again, um, has the skills of Odell Beckham, but he looks like he has the work rate. I mean, especially as the rumors are true that Steelers are open to trading out Claypool.
Yes.
Your number one target over the last couple of years, and you're looking at trading him out, shows your rookie wide receiver is doing something incredibly, incredibly good.
Yeah.
Tua looked rusty. I mean, he still threw 261 yards, and at least they didn't lose on their big night celebrating the 50 years since their unbeaten season. It was quite nice having four of the team members walking out.
John, I've seen that too. Claypool to Green Bay.
I've seen Green Bay mentioned with quite a few players
Yeah.
rolling around the trades actually,
Oh, mainly wide
including
receivers.
including KB from New
Kendrick
England.
Bourne.
Yep. Tua, he's getting better, but I noticed, they showed it up. His release time was very, very quick. I saw like 7 or 8 plays, and his release time was less than a second and a half.
I love
It was
how
like boom, gone.
Tua's all like I'm gonna slide more, I'm gonna throw it away more, think about my future. Second drive he's lowering his head and bashing into a D lineman.
Yeah.
As Dave says, Tua's still not learning to slide.
Yeah. It'd be Danny Jones has to learn to slide. His slide's shocking. There was one yesterday which
Yeah.
his knees dug in. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
quite funny. Tua needs to. I mean, all the points were scored in the first half.
As John said, is he going quicker to avoid getting hit? Yes.
Yes, definitely is. I mean, I think they showed 6 or 7 of his throws with the shot clock on it. It was less than a second and a half. It was like 1.4, 1.5,
Just while we're talking about
1.6
that,
around that time.
have you seen the Alabama play where Bryce Young had 10.5 seconds to throw?
How long?
10.5 seconds.
Imagine covering the DBs with 10.5 seconds.
Yeah, well, they didn't. They got a touchdown out of it.
Or I'd phrase that. Imagine trying to cover the DBs 10.5 seconds. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I would like to be playing Miami next week instead of New York because I think we could probably beat Miami at the moment. The fact that they're not quite there with Tua yet, and Tua's going back into it.
It's Miami against New England. You always will fancy Miami in that.
Up in Foxborough, though, it's a little bit different. But it says something, though. No points in the last 2 quarters. None. That says a lot about the game, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
I think we can roll on.
The only play I've seen is Tua like bashing into a D lineman. That's all I've seen.
I've seen Pickens touchdown. and I've seen Mofstet's rushing touchdown. Well, receiving rushing touchdown. That was, and I've seen a few of the shot clocks. They've popped up and it's already throwing in less than 2 seconds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last game of the week is tonight. We are hosting.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
We are hosting Green Bay Packers, not Green Bay
Chicago
Packers,
Bears.
Chicago Bears. Get it right in a minute. It does sound like the Mac is going to be back tonight.
And Damien Harris too.
And Damien Harris, from what they're saying, is most of the week it was shared reps between Mac and Zappi, but yesterday it looks like Mac took pretty much all the reps. So it looks like he's going to be back tonight. I'm just hoping that they give him. I'm just hoping that they give him the time in the pocket that Zappi had. Because Zappi was getting ages in the pocket. Mac wasn't getting that. He was getting hit very, very early. Rest Mac, don't be dumb.
Can I have a petition to, whenever we talk about Bailey Zappi on this podcast, to call him Don't Worry, Be Zappi?
No.
Or get some sound drop.
Hey, if you can do a sound dump and we can press that button every now and then, you're more than welcome to, mate. I can't. I mean, Chicago Bears. I don't fancy Chicago Bears, especially as our defense now is so much quicker.
See, Dave agrees with me.
Don't worry, be Zappy.
Zappy days are here again.
Dave, just because you're banned from saying it on your podcast doesn't mean you can come and type it on ours.
John says it's only the Bears, but then again, I thought that week 1, so.
Yeah, but that week 1, that was completely different. Our defense is now the 4th best defense in the league.
Dave says
our offense is now firing. The last couple of weeks, Mondo Stevens is absolutely balling out. 448 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think most of those have been in the last 2 games, to be fair. Really, really good. And now we've got Damien Harris back now as well.
I'm assuming Stevenson will still get most of the carries this week. I'm assuming Harris will be on a bit of a snap count.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not counting out Chicago completely. They do have some weapons. Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Mooney. Darius Mooney as well. That's the other one.
Darnell Mooney, yeah.
Darnell Mooney. So, they do have some weapons. I just don't think they have enough in their locker. Enough in their locker to beat New England.
Roquan Smith on defense.
Yeah, very, very good. He is leading tackles. Yeah, Roquan Smith in defense at the moment.
Bobber Quinn too.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course he is. It's gonna be a good game. I can see New England winning by 10.
I think New England by 2 scores.
10, 14, 2 scores, either way.
Also, just while we're talking about this, have you noticed that for the first time in his career, Rodgers is a double-digit underdog for next week?
Is he? Yeah. Wow. And it's the first time in their careers that both Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are both at 3 and 4.
Yeah. Dave's saying 35-10.
I'll take that. I'm guessing you mean the Patriots.
7 touchdowns from the New England offense.
No, I'm going to go 5 and 2 on the defense, or one on special team. I can see special teams falling out.
I'm going to go 17-10.
That's not 2 scores.
17-9. Still not 2 scores. Fine. 21-10.
21-10. Just remember, don't give Belichick the ball.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
He doesn't like that at all. Hopefully we'll have half a happy coaches back on, or coaches, hosts back on Thursday. Hopefully I'll be back happy as well.
Yeah, well, as Shane said at the start, he'll be back on Thursday.
Shane's back. Oh no, Phil's away this week, isn't he?
Yes.
Hence he's not here tonight. We will be back, the 3 of us, on Thursday. We will be discussing the London game because it's the 3rd and final London game of the weekend. looking at any trades coming in, and we will be back here live at 8:30 on Thursday. Ollie, good night and stay safe all.
That's right.